Why do some artists grow faster than you? How can they develop their skill so quickly? Will you feel you're stuck at the same level of skill? The simple reason is that they are learning things more efficiently. And there are 7 things that you can do to level up your skills at the same rate as these people. Number 2 and number 5 are some of the most important pieces of advice. When learning any skill, it's important to study professional work. The best way to learn from the pros is to get your hands on one of the many professionally produced art books that are around. Books like Anatomy for Sculptors, How to Draw the Comic, The Marvel Way, or Color and Light, A Guide for the Realist Painter, are all excellent pieces of art education that break down complex and daunting topics like anatomy, draftsmanship, and lighting into simpler, more manageable pieces of information which you can study form. Another useful piece of advice is to join an art course. There are many online courses out there. For example, one of the most well-known courses, Draw a Box, is a course dedicated to teaching students the basics of perspective and thinking in 3D space. It's essential to know these skills before tackling anything like a painting or illustration. The benefit of these courses is that often they have instructors who can provide you with exercises and important feedback, which can allow you to identify your mistakes and misunderstandings. One of the biggest handicaps that artists have when trying to learn is being too serious when they learn. It's fairly common for artists, even professionals, to get caught up in doing good work instead of having fun. Your sketchbook isn't supposed for finished work. It's where you do studies and jot down sketches. It's a field test for all the ideas and fundamentals that you will apply when doing larger, more important work. Because of this, when learning, it is important to give yourself room to doodle and experiment with ideas. However, many artists can also get too caught up in chasing their fun, and this can cause them to enjoy their time drawing, however they end up not learning much. One of the best pieces of advice that I can give is to split the time you spend practicing in the evening with the time you spend having fun. Another even more powerful piece of advice, however, is to simply find something about the process of doing studies and using that to drive yourself when doing studies. The reason for this is simple. If you don't enjoy learning art, then it can often result in burnout. When following a course, it's easy to ignore small exercises and diagrams that you may write off as being easy. However, it is not good to overestimate yourself. When you are following a course, you should do everything. This way, you can stress test every facet of your skill, and this helps you to find everything that you don't understand thoroughly. This extends my last tip. However, when doing an art course, it is important to do every single exercise. The reason for this is that it internalizes the concepts that the course may stress. This allows you to go beyond your understanding and develop your theoretical and practical knowledge of a skill. One way to make sure that you always do these assignments to the best of your abilities is to set a time dedicated to doing these assignments, or to study some facet of the fundamentals. One of the most common mistakes that artists make is that they rarely understand what they are doing. Often they look at a professional's work and copy it, often getting frustrated when they can't copy it exactly. However, more than just copying what you are told to do, you should be able to take the professional's work and break it down into something that you can understand. By understanding why and how an artist did what they did, it becomes easy to apply those same skills to your work. Because of this, when learning or using a reference, break down what you see into larger shapes and work your way down till you have an understandable set of information you can use to draw. It's easy to give up on studying large art books or courses that may take months to study. However, the most important piece of advice that I can give when going through these courses is to make yourself an environment that facilitates simple and achievable goals. For example, setting simple goals like 10 to 15 minutes a day dedicated to study can provide massive cumulative effects. Another smaller tip I have to mention is that we should try to always be lenient with ourselves when we make a mistake or make no time for studying. The reason for this is frustration can often kill your motivation to create art. Another piece of advice I can give is to find a community where you can show off your work and get critiques or advice on your work. Also, joining a community or finding help online can be more fun than going to a course by yourself. In conclusion, when learning art, it is important to take up these mindset changes to maximize the learning efficacy.